I believe that Gastelum and Adesanya go down as the greatest fight in middleweight history.
Israel Adesanya has won 6 fights in 14 months.
Man, this guy is the real deal.
The last style bender has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. You were one of the most exciting contenders. Now you're one of the most exciting champions. And I can't wait to see you fight for the undisputed title.
He raised his level, he raised his game, but my goodness, Israel Adesanya is an absolute warrior.
I can feel myself leveling up already.
And you know that if he needs to go to that dark place, he can.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya knows how to move his feet. He is such a technical striker. He knows how to counter, knows how to switch up his styles.
If you're Robert Whittaker sitting around, now you know that Adesanya has this will, and it makes for a very difficult challenge.
Hey, player one has the controller.
Robert Whittaker pulled out of his title defense.
It ended up that he had a hole in his stomach and his intestine, and if it popped out during the fight and he got hit there, it could be fatal.
Yeah, it's gut-wrenching. Like, I am hungry to get back in there. I love what I do.
Be patient, it'll come.
The reigning defending UFC middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker. Is there a part of you that feels like people have forgotten just how good I am, who the Reaper is, who Bobby Knuckles is? I need to remind you people. Is that part of the motivation here?
Folks who know how good he is.
Whittaker is a fucking animal.
Whittaker's going to come at you.
He's been the only guy to hold Yoel off.
He's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Robert Whittaker, ladies and gentlemen.
He's the first Australian UFC world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the GQ Sportsman of the Year, your own UFC middleweight world champion,
Robert Whittaker is a very difficult guy to find in the octagon. His movement is one of his best weapons. He keeps moving all 25 minutes. You got to be in fantastic shape to do that.
Whittaker is very good about closing the distance quickly.
I have so much respect for Robert Whittaker after those amazing performances against an absolute savage in Yoel Romero.
Champions made of this stuff.
Champions are made of that, and you are a champion now, sir. Congratulations on a fantastic performance. It was an honor to call the fight.
UFC 243, October 6th, Marvel Stadium, Melbourne, Australia. We're talking 60,000, breaking records of all kinds.
This is going to be an interesting fight. Can he handle Whittaker's speed, Whittaker's movement, Whittaker's setups, Whittaker's explosive ability?
He's the guy with the belt. We've got the rivalry between Aussies and Kiwis. It's not going to end here. I'll guarantee you that.
I saw stuff that I'm going to try to exploit.
He's a molding. He gets touched a lot, and I'm the guy you don't want to get touched by.
Don't make any mistake about it. There's a rivalry there.
He keeps talking shit about me.
I don't believe I've been talking that much shit.
My man makes memes.
I put a picture up that somebody else put up. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, keep that same energy.
They're both actually from New Zealand, but Whittaker lives in Australia. Adesanya's already laid the ground. You are no longer New Zealand. You turned your back on us. You are now the enemy.
I'm forcing him to come to me. It was always a dream of mine to get the belt and bring it home, and now I'm defending it on home soil. And I don't lose on home soil.
Whittaker and Adesanya are going to break every live gate record in the history of the sport.
you can't write a better story than that. It's perfect.
I'm going to come into this next fight the best I have ever been.
As far as storylines go in that part of the world, that is huge.
There's a time for talk and there's a time for action.
This is the biggest fight in Australian history.
October 6th, it shall be done.
Let's go.
The biggest fights in the history of this game, 60,000 Marvel Stadium. It's going to be insane.
Robert Whittaker, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a reason why I'm at the top of the food chain.
If I was willing to die in that part of a line, I got beat to.
Israel Adesanya.
No styles make fights, and I'm the style bender.
Two of the best mixed martial artists in the world.
I know you guys got me.
I'm the champion.
I'm just as fast, I'm just as strong. Come at me with holes in your plan, I'm going to take it from you.
All you have to do is tighten up that hole or make it a trap.
Let the best man win. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to remind some people.
They're sleeping on us down under, but they'll soon find out.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do what I do best, and I'm going to give it everything I have.
Come October 6th.
How's it going, everybody? AZPlow21 back again with another video here in our UFC save in WMMA 5. And today we have for you UFC 257 ADESANYA versus Whittaker 2. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. I haven't posted the results for the last fight card that I did. Yeah, I know, a great hype package. All the credit in the world to Axiom Films. That's the actual guy who made that package. So go check his channel out, Axiom Films. He makes a lot of really good, like, UFC and MMA, you know, hype packages and things like that. So go check him out. But yeah, so I kind of screwed up a little bit. I recorded the last episode, which was Velasquez versus Rosenstrike, but the video file got corrupted, so I'm actually not able to upload it. So before we go into UFC 257, I just want to really quickly go over the results from that last fight card. So they are as follows. UFC on ESPN, Rosenstrike versus Velasquez in the Caribbean. Terrible attendance, terrible gate. It was to be expected. On the prelims, we had Maki Pitolo beating Luan Chagas, Andrew Todd Hunter beating Julian Williams, Ben Sassoli beating Rafael Pessoa, who we ended up cutting, Jay Dodds beating Omar Morales, Mason Jones beating Reynaldo Acevedo, DeMarte Pena beating Joash Walkins, Ping Luan Yu beating Joe Soto, Guan Wang beating Jordan Griffin, Pani Kianzad beating Carol Rosa, and Alex Moreno beating Nicholas Dalby. Those were the prelims. And then on the main card, Casey Kenny, now ranked at number 24, beating Marlon Vera, or that was at the time, actually. They basically switched spots right after that. Alex Perez beating Rogerio Bontorin in the flyweight division. They basically just switched spots. Amanda Hebos beating Courtney Casey in the strawweight division. Megan Anderson defeated Amanda Lemos. That was a semifinal for the featherweight contendership tournament. So she'll be facing off with the winner. She'll basically end up probably fighting Felicia Spencer when it's all said and done. Just, you know, that's probably the fight that's going to end up happening. Co-main event was Alonzo Menefield versus Nikita Krylov in the light heavyweight division. Alonzo Menefield stayed undefeated. I believe he's 11-0. Yeah, 11-0. And now number 18 in the light heavyweight division. And then in the main event, you had Cain Velasquez beating Yair Rosenstrike. And that was UFC on ESPN, Rosenstrike versus Velasquez. Sorry I wasn't able to get the footage for that. I was trying to save it, but it was all corrupted. So things like this happen. It is what it is. But that's not what today's about. Today is about UFC 257. And perhaps if I have a little bit of time, I gotta be at work in about a good 2 hours or so. So I probably actually won't have time. But we'll do maybe a little bit of booking in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get everything started here. All the broadcasters are set. This is going to be our last pay-per-view, I believe, with ESPN Plus, because after this, we're going to want to get a better broadcaster for the USA as far as pay-per-view goes. So either Dish Network or DirecTV we're going to want to go with. That'll give us a little bit more potential to earn some money. All right. So the main card is as follows. ADESANYA versus Whittaker. Johnny Hendricks versus Mateus Gamrot. Davi Ramos versus Mark Jakashi. Justin Gaethje versus Jeremy Stevens in the lightweight division. And then Tai Tuivasa versus Derek Lewis. What do the rankings look like now? I'll go ahead and show that to you guys. Very good call, RBM. Heavyweight division, Cain Velasquez switched spots with Jair. He's now ranked number 10. Light heavyweight, we have a new number 18 in Alonzo Menefield. Everyone else kind of just moves down. Nikita Krylov, I think, just out of the rankings. Middleweight, we have a new debuting Alexander Shlemko, who we recently just signed from RCC. Kind of a Bellator staple. We ended up just kind of signing him. He has low-level national in Russia, so I think that's where we're going to end up using him. Maybe do a fight card in Russia and then have him there. But when is he back, actually? So he's not back for about a month or so. So we'll end up doing a fight card in Russia, and he'll probably be on that. Nothing at welterweight changes. Lightweight, nothing changes. Featherweight, we have Bryce Mitchell back in at number 25, and then Fernandez and Palmer move up. Bantamweight, like I said, Kenny and Vera just kind of switching spots. Alexander is really good. I mean, he has a lot of fights, so there's that. He's like 62-13 or something like that. But yeah, Casey Kenny in at number 20. Vera moves down to number 24. At flyweight, Alex Perez moves up to number 7 after beating Bontorin. Has a 4-fight winning streak going on with wins over Brooks and Bontorin. Bontorin moves down to number 11. Featherweight, Lemos moves down to number 10. And then Anderson will be fighting the winner of Spencer and Letson to determine who the next contender is for the women's featherweight title. At bantamweight, Kianzad moves up 1 spot. At flyweight, there is no movement. And at strawweight, Hebos moves up to number 12. Courtney Casey moves down to number 20. Okay, so that's all of the movements that was necessary to be seen there. You can go ahead and take a look at the prelims. A lot of prelims. Not necessarily the most stacked card. We're in New Zealand, so I don't even think we're going to make that much of a gate. It was kind of just, let's go give Adesanya, a fight in his home country before. We don't know what's going to happen. So we could have a new champion on our hands and then have to do a trilogy fight. You never know. But that's what this is all about. Let's go ahead and get started. UFC 257, Adesanya versus Whittaker 2. What do you guys think is going to happen? Leave some predictions down below. Adesanya or Whittaker. Whittaker, of course, coming off a big knockout over Jared Cannonier. Adesanya coming off the defense over Paulo Costa. All right, first prelim. Anthony Rocco Martin taking on Warley Alves. Alves, number 21 in the UFC, coming off a win over Claudio Enrique da Silva. Meanwhile, Rocco Martin, who lost to Neil Magny in real life, is coming off a win over Bartosz Favinski. And Warley Alves gets the win over Rocco Martin via submission and improves to 15-4. And he's happy he was able to cause an upset there. Thoughts on Whittaker versus Till? I really like that fight. I think it's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be really entertaining. I think Till might win. And that'd be really cool because that would basically set him up for a title fight with Adesanya or Costa in the near future. Or hey, if Whittaker wins, maybe that sets himself up back for another rematch. You never know. Jennifer Maia taking on Molly McCann in the flyweight division. Jennifer Maia is 17-7-1. And she is coming off a loss over Montana De La Rosa. A little 2-fight losing streak for her. Meanwhile, Molly McCann, 11-2. Coming off a big win over Paige Van Zandt on the McGregor-Gaethje fight card. I think Molly McCann will take this one here. And she certainly does. Knockout in round number 2. The Liverpool young lady. As Jennifer Maia. Yeah, I know, Meatball. Pretty funny nickname. But Meatball McCann gets it done, and Jennifer Maia actually retires from MMA after losing that fight. Asked about the knockout, says she managed to land that last punch perfectly. Knows she can always rely on her punching power. Moving on in the prelims, Verna Jandiroba taking on Jessica Aguilar. Jandiroba, a heavy favorite here. The number 3 strawweight in the world, number 9 strawweight in the division, coming off 3 straight wins, Calvillo and Randa Marcos, facing off against Jessica Aguilar, who's coming off a win over Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I'm going to probably pick Jandiroba here. A 2-inch advantage for Aguilar, and she ends up winning. Wow. Jandiroba, her first loss, I believe, in the UFC, right? Her second loss. Wow, so Esparza and now Jessica Aguilar beating Jandiroba. Aguilar getting a much-needed win there. She could end up retiring right now too, but she ends up sticking it out. A big win over Jandiroba here. Liana Jojua taking on Tracy Cortez. Cortez is 8-1, a huge underdog against Jojua. 2-0 in the UFC, coming off a win over Stephanie Egger. And Liana Jojua, 8-3. She's coming off a win over Pani Kianzad. It's a wonder that she's not a little bit more highly ranked. Apparently Jojua is going to win by a long shot, and she does. Submission in round number 1. Improves to 9-3. Alexander Doskalchuk taking on Naoki Inoue. Inoue a favorite at -210. Doskalchuk is 10-3. He is coming off a loss to Ronaldo Candido. A loss here might end up getting him cut. Naoki Inoue, 2-1 in the UFC, coming off a win over Hiromasa Ogikubo. And Inoue gets the submission win in round number 1 via knee bar. 2 straight wins for him now. Everyone's starting to trickle in. Welcome to UFC 257. Pac-Man Ronaldo Candido now taking on Tyson Nam. Another flyweight contest here. Nam coming off that win. He had a big knockout win actually about a week ago. It was a nice knockout on his end. Candido 7-0, unranked, coming off a win over Doskelchuk. And then Tyson Nam coming off a win over Matt Schnell. And Candido gets the win via knee bar in round number 1. Submission victory for Pac-Man. Improves to 8-0, and I'd imagine he might be ranked come, next week. Another flyweight fight keeping him coming here. Jared the Monkey God Brooks taking on Mateus Nicolau. 14-2-1 is Mateus. Small underdog taking on Jared Brooks, who is 15-3 currently. Number 13 in the division, coming off a loss over Alex Perez. And then Mateus Nicolau, 4-1 in the UFC, coming off a win over Bruno Acevedo. My guess is Jared Brooks takes it here, and he actually loses via unanimous decision to Mateus Nicolau. Shows a little bit of respect and a little bit of praise for Brooks and his toughness. Up next in the bantamweight division, Sarah Too Sweet Alpar taking on Faith McMaw. I think this is both of these ladies' first fight in the organization. McMaw apparently the favorite. And the young lady from New Zealand gets the win in her home country via knockout in round number 1. Good for McMaw, getting a first round knockout here, and very happy to have won in her UFC debut. All right, so bantamweights now going at it. Benito Golden Boy Lopez taking on Alejandro Perez. Golden Boy 3-1 in the UFC, coming off a win over Vince Morales. And Alejandro Perez 7-4-1 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Brian Kelleher. Low-level national in Mexico. We should probably do something about that if he ends up winning. He's the favorite here. And Benito Golden Boy Lopez gets the win via unanimous decision, improving to 11-1. Perhaps he ends up being ranked come tomorrow. All right, another prelim. Look at that guy. He's got an arm around his shoulder. Shabang Bang Keith Barish taking on Impa Shilobo Kasangane. At the 185 division, 7-0 is Kasangane taking on Keith Barish. Kasangane a small favorite. His debut UFC fights, and he shows up via knockout in round number 2. Fight rated as being great, and Kasangane getting a big win here today and celebrates winning his debut fight. Perez is probably getting cut. We'll have to see. Was he on a big losing streak? Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa in the heavyweight division taking on Derek the Black Beast Lewis in our first main card fights. Everyone's paid $65. Everyone's here. Welcome to New Zealand. UFC 257. Everything's going on. Oh, it's a big shebang. Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa, number 11 heavyweight in the world apparently. 4-4 in the UFC, coming off a win over Marcin Tybura. Meanwhile, Derek Lewis, 23-8-1, a staple of the UFC at this point, coming off a loss to Francis Ngannou. My guess is that Lewis takes it here. Just that little bit more experience. However, Tuivasa can knock people out if he absolutely has to. That would be his 4th loss in a row. Yeah, he's probably going to end up getting cut then. My guess is Lewis. Let's see what happens here. No. Tai Tuivasa via TKO over Derek Lewis in round number 1, no less. Wow. So Derek Lewis now on a little bit of a losing streak. And he would like to fight Stefan Struve next. Interesting call out here for Tuivasa as he opens up the main show. All right, a banger now here on the main show. Justin, the Highlight Gaethje, taking on Lil Heathen Jeremy Stevens in the lightweight division, no less. Now, Justin Gaethje, of course, doing incredibly in real life, However, here in the save, coming off that loss to Conor McGregor, knocked out in round number 1. And Jeremy Stephens, usually a featherweight fighter, coming off a loss to Jose Aldo in said division. He is currently on about, basically a 4 to 5 loss losing streak. So he's in desperate need of a win. Still fairly popular in America, just like Gaethje is. Not as popular as I thought he might be, but whoo boy. Stephens really needs a win. Gaethje needs a bounce back win. I think Gaethje might still take it. Let's see. Wow. So I see it's a fantastic fight, which I figured it would be. But Jeremy Stephens moving into the lightweight division and getting a TKO victory over Justin Gaethje. Now that's terrible for Justin. But Jeremy Stephens, this was an absolute must-win for him, and he got it. And I'm curious to see like how he'll be ranked in the lightweight division if we were to move him up there. But let's see what he says. Stephens says he should get a bonus for putting on a showstopper of a fight. He probably will. Davi Tasmanian Devil Ramos taking on Mark Bone Crusher Jakashi in our next fight. Davi Ramos, who has a fight booked up in real life, coming off a win over Arman Tsarukyan, which, interestingly enough, is the fight that they're making in real life. And I did not know that when I booked that fight. Exactly. Steven saying, I'm still here. Surprise, surprise, the king is back. All that stuff. But look at this. I booked Davi Ramos versus Arman Tsarukyan for the Adesanya Costa fight card. And now UFC is actually booking that fight. I don't want to say they got the idea from me, but I just think that's pretty funny. So Ramos taking on Bone Crusher Jakashi, who's number 24 in the division, coming off 3 straight wins over Duffy Venata and Ray. My guess is that Jakashi probably takes it here. And he does. TKO victory in round number 3. Fight rated as being good. Tough fight, but he gives a nice show of respect to Davi Ramos. Now, Johnny Big Rig Hendricks taking on Mateusz Gamrot in our co-main event of the evening. Johnny Hendricks making his return to the octagon after a nice stint in, well, being away, I should say. But he actually recently came back and got a win over Tim Botch. Meanwhile, Mateusz Gamrot, mid-level national in Europe, but he got a win over Rick Glenn. Big KSW guy. See the amazing winning streak that he's on. And he's heavily favored here against Hendricks as well. My guess is that Gamrot takes it, and he doesn't. Johnny Big Rig Hendricks back in things with a huge knockout in round number 1. Not only that, but giving Gamrot his first professional loss as well. Big Rig back on it now. Time for the main event of the evening. The last style bender, Israel Adesanya, taking on Robert the Reaper Whittaker. Of course, in the fight that happened in Australia, Israel getting the better of Whittaker via TKO, or knockout it says, then beating Yoel Romero and then defending against Paulo Costa in round number 1. Slightly favored against Robert Whittaker, who's coming off a big knockout win over contender Jared Cannonier. So about a year and like 4 months removed, the veteran turning back the clock. Exactly. Johnny Big Rig Hendricks coming back. Adesanya Whittaker 2, main event of the evening for the UFC Middleweight Championship of the World. My guess is Adesanya via stoppage again, at which point maybe Whittaker either moves down to welterweight again, maybe tries his hand at light heavyweight, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Adesanya does get a little bit of a bonus fighting in front of his home crowd. Both fighters meeting in the center Two fighters engage. Can't find the mark with a right hook. Whittaker connects to the left. Ends with a right cross. Uh-oh, that last shot rocked him. Adesanya senses victory. Adesanya pounds away. Oh, but Whittaker's able to cover up. Adesanya nearly winning the fight right there. Whittaker glancing high kick. Nearly winning the fight there is Adesanya. Early into the fight as well. Nice right hook from Israel. Right hand. A big cut underneath Whittaker's eye now. As round one looks to be coming to a close. Good right hand. And round one does come to a close. Round two. Adesanya more than likely won that first round. Here for the middleweight championship of the world. Hits a left jab. Does Israel. Coming together to strike now. Good right hand from Adesanya. Low kick to the leg from Israel. Nothing landing here. Halfway through round number two. Right cross from Whittaker. Off the mark on the head kick attempt. Adesanya getting a little bit tired here in round number two. Final 60 seconds of round number two. Adesanya lands a 1-2, coming together to strike. Adesanya, wicked uppercut. Whittaker knocked down by that shot. Adesanya moves in quickly. Powerful shot after shot. And referee Steve Mazzagatti is forced to jump in and stop the fight. How's it going, Julian? Glad you could make it out. And wow. You came in at a really good time as well. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliotta has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 58 seconds of round number two. Declaring your winner by TKO and still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. Love my shitty Bruce Buffer impersonation. Israel Adesanya defending his title. Wow. Celebrates still being the UFC middleweight champion, and he says he is looking forward to the next challenger stepping forward. Now, who is that challenger? It is going to be Darren Till. Oh no, Steve's back. How's it going, Gollum? Glad you could make it out. Thank you for the subscription as well. Oh, that was Steve Mazzagatti, actually. Yeah, I don't know why I said Dan Mergliotta, but it is Steve Mazzagatti. So yeah, he probably let Robert take a couple more extra shots than he needed to. Is everybody else seeing the screen okay? Julian says he sees just a black screen. Attendance of 6,500 in New Zealand, a gate of around 1.1 million, not the best. Made only $869,000 off pay-per-view, not the best. A lot of that is strictly down to like the drawing power of this card was not very good. Popularity increases all around, though. We love to see that. How's it going, My Stick? So Stevens versus Gaethje's definitely getting fight of the night. And now let's see who's getting performance bonuses. I say Hendricks for his win over Gamrot. A knockout in round number one, signifying that he's back. I'm thinking Tuivasa, Jojua, McMahon, knockout. Yeah, so Hendricks and McMahon are going to get performance bonuses. Do you think Till will beat the Reaper? I actually do. I think Darren Till might win that fight. I really do. I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times, but my prediction says Darren Till. But you never know. Whittaker can come out and be like, you know, I need to get my title back, and he can come out guns a-blazing. It's all very dependent on a bunch of different things, to be honest. So that's good. We made a small profit on this show, which is good, because on the last pay-per-view, the McGregor pay-per-view, we lost about a good $9 million. So nice to be in the black here for this pay-per-view, despite it not selling very well. Never doubt Hendricks again. Yeah, that's a very good point. Top earners on that card: Jeremy Stevens, Johnny Hendricks, Robert Whittaker. Are you stupid for picking Volkov tomorrow? I will not say that you're stupid, Julian. I will just say I highly doubt he wins. I really think Blades is just gonna wrestle him, take him down to the ground, and maybe just, Habib him, essentially. He is essentially the Habib of the heavyweight division. That's how we ended up just demolishing Alistair Overeem. Just used his wrestling, got into... It wasn't even mount. It was in, I think it was in half guard, and just destroyed him with elbows from the top. But you're not stupid. Volkov always has a chance. He was able to prove himself very nicely against Greg Hardy. And he's proven that he's been able to do it before. But then we've seen Volkov get demolished by just regular punches before. I mean, he was piecing up Derek Lewis. He probably would have earned a title shot off that win too. But he just last second just gassed out and got knocked out. Happens to anybody, really. But I mean, if you want to earn some money and you think Volkov is going to win, my guess is he's an underdog. So go ahead and pick Volkov. See if you can make a little bit of cheddar off of that fight. Which is funny because the simulation that I did for tomorrow's fight card actually has Volkov winning. Am I more excited for 251 or 252? That's a hard question, mainly because 251 has 3 title fights. So that's instantly your money is back. Just from buying the pay-per-view, you're getting your money's worth. That's 3 title fights. But 252, Daniel Cormier is one of my favorite fighters of all time. So that's definitely a fight that I'm looking forward to. Also, we have yet to see the rest of that, main card. So I will hold my judgment until we see the rest of that main card. But 251 looks stacked. I mean, 3 title fights, done. You got me. Glad you guys were able to join me here today. I'm going to be updating the rankings, taking a look at the emails, and then we can go ahead and start booking lightly. I don't think I'm going to be doing my huge booking save because I do have to go to work in about an hour and a half or so. So we have a good hour and a half to, get some stuff done as far as booking and whatnot. But wow, Adesanya is still the champion, and he's defended twice now on this save. So hopefully he has a little bit more drawing power and, is able to bring in the big bucks as far as pay-per-views go. But what do you guys think in the chat? Do you guys think Volkov or do you guys think Blades is going to win tomorrow? And are you guys going to be watching? I don't know, I'm bored. How you doing, sir? He says Blades by decision. Yeah, I definitely do think Blades is going to win. However, I do think it's going to be a stoppage, though. Hopefully it's a stoppage, because if it goes to a decision, it'll be because he just laid on him for the entire fight, essentially. I say all this now and watch Volkov just end up, piecing him up or knocking him out in round number 1 or something. Hope you guys are all staying safe. Hope you guys are all having a good Friday afternoon. What are your guys' plans for the weekend? After I get off work, I'm basically coming home and going right to bed because I have a tea time super early. You became your heavyweight champion in your Bellator save. That's pretty cool. Did you sign him from the UFC or is this way back in the day? Robbie Lawler, are you talking about in-game here, or are you talking about in real life? Because I have no idea. Because I think Lawler... What has Lawler been up to? In real life? Okay. Well, I'll show you both. Where is Robbie? So Robbie in game is coming off a loss to Tony Ferguson, but he beat Neil Magny. And of course he's coming off the loss to Colby back in August, but I really don't know. Lawler versus Woodley too, that would be pretty good, I think. That's a good point. I don't know though. Maybe like, yeah, give him someone like Woodley. Maybe no, not Colby. Maybe a guy like Vicente Luque or Ponzinibbio could fight Lawler. I think that'd be pretty good too. All right, let's go ahead and update our rankings here and see what we've got. So Tai Tuivasa is in at number 7 in our heavyweight rankings. Still don't know how Alex Caceres has a job. He's an entertaining fighter. I mean, and he's a good gatekeeper for like those like younger prospects, you know. Plus, he's a pretty entertaining fighter. He knows where he is, and he's very self-aware. So win over Tabura and Lewis apparently gets you ranked number 7. But he lost to Struve, but he's ahead of him. I don't get that. I feel like at least it should be the other way around. But oh well. So Tuivasa moving up the rankings. Derek Lewis down to number 14. Light heavyweight, there is no movement. At middleweight, Whittaker moves all the way down to number 5. And lo and behold, our new number 1 contender is Darren Till. Coming off the win over Yoel Romero. He's back in 20 days. So that fight could potential. Oh, that is right. Ponzinibbio was supposed to fight Lawler. Did Lawler get injured or did Ponzinibbio get injured? Because I know he's had a big problem with injuries, Ponzi. And Stylebender's back in about 2 months. So we'll have to wait about 3 months at least for the Till Adesanya fight. But that should be really fun. Everyone else moves up a little bit. Tavares is fighting Costa. And I think that if Tavares beats Costa, that gets him a title shot, in my opinion. Setting up a nice little rematch for Adesanya. Everything else is okay at middleweights. Mike the Bum Perry, Darren Till, saying he's going to raw dog his girl. Well, let's see. Mike Perry's ranked number 16. Coming off a loss to Wonderboy Thompson. Started out the save by getting a win over EZDS, but then got knocked out via head kick by Wonderboy. You love to see it. Mike Perry getting knocked out by perhaps the nicest guy of all time. And he's still out, I think, for a while, too. Yeah. Wonderboy basically head kicked him into oblivion, which you love to see. Warley Alves moved up to number 14, and we have a debuting Ismail Nardiev, who we just signed, in at number 20. Warley Alves, of course, coming off that win over Anthony Rocco Martin. At lightweight, Cowboy Cerrone moves up. Moicano, everyone moves up, and Justin Gaethje moves all the way down to number 16. Yikes. After losing to Jeremy Stevens in his own division. Not good. Mark Jacashe moves up to number 20. See, like, what could we do here? Like, do him versus, like, Felder or Kabalov, maybe? Very interesting. Yes, I am looking to sign Gegard Mousasi, but he's still under contract with Bellator, so the moment he's available, I have him shortlisted, so the moment he's available, my emails will tell me. And then Valentina, Not strawweight, flyweight. So Valentina has already defended her title twice against Calderwood and Shukagian again. And I don't think I'm going to set up like a fight with Nunes, although I absolutely could. But Nunes can't go down to 125. And I don't think I would want to give Shevchenko just an immediate title shot at 135. Especially considering she's already lost to her twice. I don't want to do that fight until she's like extremely popular, like international style, like popular. So I'm thinking, see, I don't know. Robertson has that loss to Macy Barber. Andrea Lee versus Liz Carmouche. But she was on a 2-fight losing streak before that. I mean, I'm honestly just considering Jillian Robertson. Just giving her a title shot. And yeah, I already set it up actually for Robertson. You can set up Weili Zhang versus Shevchenko. Well, Zhang already has Carla Esparza lined up. Like, that's been a fight that's going to happen for a long time. Like, Esparza's on a 5-fight winning streak. Like, she's getting that title fight. But yeah, like somewhere down the line, if like the divisions are kind of stopping, you know, and there's not really much going on, then maybe like Zhang versus Shevchenko. Go back through the rankings. Andrade goes up. Jandiroba moves down a spot. Aguilar moves up. Women's flyweight, Molly McCann moves up to number 7. Or I wonder, when is she back? 55 days. So she's not back for a while, but she's basically one fight away from a win. Can Valentina move to straw weights? No. 125 is her lowest weight. All right, bantamweight, Jojua moves up. This Aveda girl we're going to send down to Invicta, so don't really worry about her. And then Faith McMaw moves up 1 spot after getting her win. And then at featherweights, no real movements. All right, cool. So now let's go ahead and check our news, see if there's anyone interesting that we want to sign. Marco Polo Reyes, no thank you. Brittany Elkin. Lolo Heamahe. Not looking like there's anyone worth looking at. I mean, maybe Brittany Elkin. She's a lightweight. She's just literally coming off a loss. I can sign her to an Invicta contract. Just to have her, you know? Alright, but that's everything there. Uh-oh, lobbies for fight. Oh, no! Dominic Reyes has sustained a medium leg injury during training and will not be able to compete at UFC 258 Jones versus Reyes 2. His scheduled opponent, John Jones, remains on the card, requires a new opponent. And of course, everyone wants to fight John Jones. I don't know on board says he'll fight Jones. That's literally our next pay-per-view, dude. Serkinov can't even do it because he still has to recuperate for a month. No, not Rockhold either. Dude, what the F? Is John Jones making his heavyweight debut? Because he has to? Maybe a middleweight can move up. Adesanya can't. 20 days. No, everyone's kind of Costa. He's coming off a loss. Oh boy. Am I? Yeah, I don't know. I'm bored. I think I'm about to do something really dumb. That's if he's available. Oh boy. Oh shit. He's never fought in the division before, but let's do it. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight title. Simply because Ngannou can't make 205, right? No. But Jones obviously can fight a heavyweight. And Ngannou's ready. And it's a full camp for him as well. Oh my god. Wow. I guess it was meant to be, guys. That's insane. Wow. Neither of them have a problem with it. Let's do it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The gods certainly have spoken. John Jones is getting his heavyweight fight after all. And it's the next pay-per-view. Oh, jeez. Well, cool. Not the best news for Dominic Reyes, but he'll get his title shot somewhere down the line. How long is he out for? Only 35 days? So yeah, he'll get his title shot. It's just not going to be next month. Oh gee, oh bother. I mean, cool. See, the moment I saw lobbies for fight, I was like, uh-oh. And then I saw John Jones' face, and I was like, oh, shit. Let's see what else we got going on here. Candido needs to be renewed. Still not ranked in the flyweight division. Like, all these are basically just people saying that they want to fight John Jones, which I don't doubt. Jennifer Meyer retired. I wonder if she will come back. 3-fight losing streak. I doubt she will. No. Alright. F's in the chat for Jennifer Maya. Have a good life. Alejandro Perez. Yeah, that is a 4-fight losing streak. Yeah, 6,600 just because you're popular in Mexico? No thanks. Someone else will sign you. I'll check the available hires right now. Let me just go through the emails first. Jeremy Stevens going to want a pretty penny. How much was he making before? Ah, he wasn't making that much. But he'll be making even less now. Who says fighters need more money? Robert Whittaker needs to be renewed. How long is he out for? about 2.5 months. Ryan Bader booked. Tai Tuivasa needs to be renewed. Let's do that. This girl's from Invicta. Ooh, bantamweight 6'1", 3 straight wins. Let's give her another Invicta contract. Norma Dumont from Invicta. Give her an Invicta contract. Jojua. Tracy Cortez coming off a loss. I think that's the whole point. Ty does look like a young Mark Hunt. All right, Jared Brooks. Eesh. 2-fight losing streak, but he's still ranked in the division. So I'll give him a contract with the ability to cut. Alright, Doskelchuk, I think we're straight up just gonna cut. It says he's ranked, but he really should not be. We're gonna go ahead and let you go, sir. Where are you at? Yeah, sure. In a way, go ahead and sign him to a deal. Derek Lewis needs to be renewed, coming off 2 straight losses now. Still low-level national, but he needs some momentum behind him. Jeez. Sticking with my boy Derek Lewis. All right. You said look at the recommended hires. I've gone through these a bunch of times, but no one really interests me, to be honest. I mean, Mark Hunt, but he won't talk to us. Yeah. See, like, no one else here really interests me that much. See, like, I know when I like a prospect. You know what I mean? There's like particular things that I look for. Like a good record, whether they've fought a lot, you know, how old they are, you know. And then I look at their marketability rating too. See, like this Mansour Barnaoui guy, he's from France. He'd be pretty cool. Marketability is okay. See, like this guy right here. See if I can sign him. Oh, alright. Cool. But yeah, typically anyone that's too old, I'm not particularly interested in. Or someone that I just cut, like, I'm not going to sign them. Like, I literally just cut you. Horiguchi I would really like, but he doesn't want to talk to us either. Henan Barao. Ooh, he has a lot of popularity, actually. But he's coming off a loss in Titan FC. I'll put him on the short list. And if he can get a win, I'll probably, you know, bring him in. No, I don't think Joe Riggs should get one more shot. So, like, Eric Shelton I really want to bring in, but he's tied down. Oh! But will he? No. could bring this girl in on an Invicta contract. A lot of these girls I already do have in Invicta. Like Emily Ducote. Don't I have her already? I don't? Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay. Justin Scoggins. Yeah, he's usually pretty good. Yeah, his only fight is a win. But I mean, look at all that. He's on quite a losing streak. Not the best. We'll let him see what he can do in Titan FC, and then maybe bring him in later. Our next show is UFC on ESPN, Yaquinta versus Gillespie. And I think I'm actually going to be done for right now. Thank you guys for joining me. The next time that I see you guys will be for my booking stream, which is either going to be tomorrow or Sunday morning. So I thank you guys all for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed UFC 257, Adesanya versus Whittaker. My name is AZPlow21. You can go ahead and leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you guys all if you're subscribed, if you're followed on Twitch, you know, things like that. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Be sure to click on the bell down below so that way you guys get notifications whenever my videos get uploaded. I appreciate you guys as always. Have a great time. I'll see you for the booking stream. Oh, real quick, RBM, yeah. ESPN. That is probably going to be our last pay-per-view with ESPN Plus. We're probably going to try to sign a deal with DirecTV next time out, just so that way we get a little bit more exposure as far as the pay-per-view goes. So, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. I'll see you guys later.